All right, thanks for staying with us. Now, media use in politics refers to the use of various media platforms in political processes and activities. Political processes and activities include all activities that pertain to the governance of a country and area. Globally, media influencers have the capacity to sway public opinions, especially on the choice of leaders during the election season. Now, the Saturday elections, which took place in Osun State, was very clear proof of this, as singer Davido, one of the biggest influencers, right, out of the continent of Africa, was able to galvanize the youth to support his uncle, now Governor-elect Ademola Adeleke. So with more influencers like Funke Akindele, Tonto Dike, Banky W, joining the political race, one cannot help but wonder how this would impact the 2023 elections. Now, if there's anything we've learned from Senator Adeleke's win, is that media is a powerful tool, and today we're asking, what is the influence of media on political relevance, right? So let's watch a clip quickly. Let's see all the work that that guy sweated on the field. Let's see the small work that Davido did, briefly, then we'll come back. You guys are supposed to play this. That's a serious matter. Now, please let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-8663. You can also tweet at us at WayShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WayShow. Uti, I want to bring in our guest in 2 seconds. So just tell me what your thoughts are. Because I think you were trying to argue with me. I said you should save it.
No. My thought, funny enough, my thought is actually quite a funny one. So the first time I saw this video, I thought that better be a good road, because one speed bump, one pothole, it's not going to be a funny story. But no, I mean, there's no doubt that the media is powerful. I mean, even before the days of social media, is the reason why TV networks were so powerful in being voices and mediums for politicians. So no doubt media has a huge influence. I mean, I don't share your point of view on the 20 million, I have 20 million followers, so look at me, I'm running for deputy governor. But yeah, we'll
okay. Nwaji Jibunoh is a partner at Philips Consulting Limited, heading the Training Strategic Business Unit. He is a business leader with over 21 years experience in developing learning intervention strategies and leading teams across several functional areas to deliver optimal client-focused trainings, retreats, consulting, and people-focused solutions and psychometric assessment. He has done this in the United States, United Arab Emirates, South Africa, and Nigeria. Ugonna Omeruo is a creative director for label House of Mocha. She loves bright colors and is not afraid to try new things. She sees herself as a walking mannequin for her work. Ugonna Omeruo wears many hats. She's also an aspiring politician, a women's rights activist, and an advocate for good governance in Nigeria. And they're both joining us live in studio. Hello, people.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome.
Pleasure to be here.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, this is a very interesting conversation. We're not going to try to bash anybody, even though somebody wants to bash somebody because she was bragging about 20 million votes. Then Davido just came and bam, for us, because Davido is one of the most influential people out of the continent of Africa, and he has a huge social media following. So when Funke Akindele had done, because this conversation is coming off of the back of the interview she had done, saying that, she believes that she can monster votes, right? Because she has about 20 million followers. So everybody kept backlashing and saying all sorts of things. But, it got us thinking, really, can we really translate that millions of followers online into political relevance, that, okay, these things are converted to actual votes. So there was that debate.
Right.
But all of a sudden, Davido just came, he did his thing, was sweating, and now he delivered for his uncle, right? Even though some people are arguing that, no, the Adeleke family is almost looking like, oh, because of the long-term game that they've been at it for a while, and it seemed like, okay, it was just right for them this time around not to be robbed off because there were speculations or allegations that they stole their mandates in the previous elections. You know, so there are just so many dynamics. But I believe strongly that there's a huge role in that media engagement, the influence that Davido had that translated into this win. But let me hear your thoughts. Who are we starting with? Ladies first, right?
Of course, absolutely.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. So I honestly think there's absolutely no way this win would have been possible without a David on his uncle's side. The social media galvanizing was because David is young, and he's one of those people that younger people, there's a whole new generation of young voters who are coming into this election as the first time voters. And then they might not listen to you, me, anyone in their 30s, because they're like, but they would listen to someone whose music makes them feel good, whose music says something to attest to what they're experiencing. So it's only like, it's a no-brainer that his uncle employed him to run his campaign, because he knows that there's a young caucus of people who Davido can reach out to that he might not be able to reach out to. And that's what Davido did, and he delivered on that mandate.
Hey, my body is sweeting me. Let me hear your thoughts. It's 3 against 1.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
There is a formula, whether it's in business or whether it's in politics, the role that the media plays. If you look in business, for example, Kevin Hart was the one a couple of years ago that shattered the perspectives around how you can now begin to use platforms to promote movies, to promote particular things that you're doing. Because I remember there was a particular time in one of his movies, he actually demanded that he gets paid to use his platform. At that time, he had about 3 million followers to actually promote these particular movies. And his argument to the companies that were putting the movies out were that you are going to spend this money anyway to have an addressable market of not anything close to what I have on social media on the social media platforms. So therefore, you have to pay me for building that particular level of people to be able to reach. So in business, entertainment, it works. In politics, this even goes back almost 80 years to the birth of television. Adolf Hitler was one of the first people to use the media in a very strong particular way to now galvanize the kind of votes that he gathered back then when the Nazi party came in. And as much as they did absolutely horrible things, but he was able to now show his charisma, show his tenacity, show his passion for what he was pushing at the time, which was socialism, to now pass on a particular message. And it is to that which people now play to, because it is what people saw. It is what people connected to.
Absolutely.
So now fast forward to today, and you're now seeing what is happening with David O. and in other political spheres. There is a direct correlation between the power of social media and your ability to gather votes, especially when you now begin to look at the young population, like Ugonna said, in Nigeria, that is very, very, very on tap. And I can guarantee you that a big reason why you had the kind of individuals that went to the polls was because of Davido being out there. You talk about him being the biggest, one of the biggest pushers on Africa. I even take it further, say one of the biggest influencers in the world.
Yeah.
The guy's a big deal. Okay, when you look at what he did on that show with Trevor Noah, I mean, millions of views, so he's well known. So you put that kind of individual at the forefront of any particular political candidate, you're going to shatter votes. So I completely agree. Sorry, Uti, I know you want to have a diverging view, but trust me.
I only honestly
you
hope
know,
that he's the first to call his uncle out should
Yeah.
anything go wrong.
Right.
I honestly hope he does.
Right.
Because
Let's
I
wait
kind
for
of-
that one.
Yeah, I
because
kind
what
of
he
have-
said now is that now they have won. So
Yeah.
let them see what good governance will
What-
look like.
Right.
So let's hope that. But let me hear your thoughts, Uti.
So, you know me, I like to play devil's advocate.
Of course.
No, I totally agree. So I don't out and out disagree with anything that you have said, because the truth is, the angle that I want to come from is, look, the media is powerful, but he didn't sit somewhere else and tweet or post. He was there. So no matter how powerful, so he built the momentum,
Yeah.
but he was there, he was present. So no matter how many followers you have, no matter how many people you galvanize, if there are no boots on the streets, if people aren't coming out to vote, then it still doesn't mean anything.
Right.
So it's really about passing on the message. So they give you a platform. He showcased his uncle, and his uncle was already, I mean, I didn't even know much about him in terms of the dancer senator. So he already had that kind of social media type of presence. But clearly, he did a great job, right? But we still want to make sure that the message that we get our young people to understand is that no matter how much noise you make on social media, you have to come out to the polls, because I don't know how many followers Davido has, but in that election, I think his uncle won 400 and something thousand votes. It's absolute drop in the ocean.
It's a drop in the ocean compared to, but you know his followers are global.
Well, no. So what I'm even trying to say is that if you even take that population or the number of people that voted and compare it to the population of Osun State, it's still not, you know, it could have been better. So the fact is, we need to translate the influence of the media from social media, from the TV, from the radio, and we need to get more people out there, a lot more young people out there. But it's a good tactic for me, because like you said, this is a person that young people are we have a huge trust issue with our politicians. So any politician today who can leverage some sort of influencer or some sort of platform to get more people, then of course that works. But I'm sorry, I'm just going to throw this in there. I said it the other day. So somebody's running with Tonto. And she has, I think it's like 7 million followers. And I say, you put it in context, right? Tonto is running as the deputy governor. So if they happen to win, and then something happens to happen to Tonto will be the president or governor of River State. Oh, wow.
Should we leave that for us to worry about?
I think that's another convo for another. I don't really want to go into that because if I would be honest and candid, she's not running on a strong political platform. She's running on the AD, one of those up and coming parties, and I think they're only just using her to push traffic to their party. Nothing more, nothing less. They're not going to win.
Hey, well.
No, we don't expect them to win, but it's just a thought in you, because you don't, anything can happen.
It's what, so, but I mean, to be honest, anyone going into politics, I strongly advocate for, because you can't sit on the sideline for forever. We all sit on the sideline. We've been sitting on the sideline and then complain, and nothing is being done about it. So if you honestly have the conviction and you think you can go in there, face the challenges and achieve some amount of success in terms of alleviating the stress and the situation of your people, if it's on a state level, local government level, or on a national level. If you can and think you can do that, and you think you can pull together the necessary team to help you achieve that, all in. I'm totally all in. So, but not when.
Not when. So just to put it.
Not when it's
for Uti, I think Davido has 11.9 on Twitter, 24.7 million on Instagram. So even if you took like 1% or 0.5% of that number, it's enough to win any elections in Nigeria, because
it's a numbers game.
Yeah, it's a numbers game. So it's not so much. He's not expecting everybody, to be on his side. He's just looking for those few people. Yeah,
it will always be a fraction. But I mean, for me, like I said, the message really is: no matter how much you do on media, please go out and vote.
So we'll come to that. Yeah, we'll come to that. But let's take a very short break. When we come back from the break, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us. All right, so if you just tuned in, we are discussing the influence of media on political relevance, right? And we have with us Nwaji, Jibunoh, and Ugonna Omeruo. Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 801-803-8663. You can also tweet at us at WayShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WayShow. Right, so translating and doing the work, right? I want to come back to Funke Akindele's declaration. Do you think she stands the chance of, because again, Ugonna made a very strong, what's it called? She pointed out something very strong about Tonto Dike's candidateship, what will I call it? Candidacy, being in a party that is seeking relevance. Funke Akindele, on the other hand, she's with a party that it is alleged that every elections, right, they always win the elections, that they just find a way to somehow, steal the votes from them. Like they say that PDP actually does have good numbers when it comes to elections in Lagos State. So her going on with the PDP as the deputy governorship candidate, what do you think that influence? How do you think that will translate? Because Funke Akindele, you can almost, I think she's even worse than Davido in terms of grassroots. You understand? She's way better than him, because just the movie she released, I was saying it the other day, the Omeruo movie, the whole place. The people that normally go, they will not go to cinema. All those trenches people, do you understand?
They went, yeah.
She was able to gather so many people, and they all went to the cinemas to watch the Omeruo, especially the saga one. I didn't watch the first one, so I didn't know what that one was like. But the second one, I was around the cinema and I saw a lot of people. I was wondering what was going on. And they said, oh, so because of that influence that she wields, do you think that can translate into, votes for her?
Should I?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I think it goes beyond just whether she gets votes or not. I'm not particularly concerned with whether she wins. I think I'm more concerned about just putting your foot in the race and deciding that you actually want to do something and get going and participate, which is very, very critical to do. Because I think Uti made a fantastic point about David O being on the ground. And if we all recall, this is not the first time that he has campaigned with his uncle. I believe this is the third time.
Yes, he's always been there.
Time,
yes.
Right. So I'm sure they have learned lessons at each particular political campaign, and they have built on the mistakes that they made from the past, or learning how to do things differently, maybe getting a better understanding of the grassroots and everything else to now be able to get to this point. So going back to the examples of Funke and going back to examples of Tonto, I don't necessarily think it's about them winning, but I think it's more about them joining the political process. That's number one. And then number two, do they have the staying power and the continuity and consistency to now be able to say to themselves, if for whatever reason they don't win, will they continue to use the machinery that they've built, the grassroots, the volunteer networks and all those things to participate again come the next cycle? So that way there's some level of accountability. There's some level of continuity. There's some level that the opposing party knows.
And again, there's a level of you're not building from scratch the next.
Exactly. So I think that's more where it's going. I'm very happy, in as much as I am very apolitical, but I am very happy to see young people join in the political conversation, because I think it's very important. There's a gigantic generation gap between the ruling political class and Nigeria, and which is where you see a lot of the disconnect, which is where you see a lot of the challenges. So I think the more that you have young people, especially those in their 30s and early 40s, join the political process and use whatever platform and influence that they have to get things going, I think it could only be beneficial to Nigeria at the end of the day. Why? Because you have a freshness of innovation, you have a freshness of ideas, you have a different kind of energy, and most importantly, you have people and individuals that the actual majority of Nigerians, who are young people, can look at and connect to and believe in, that these are the individuals that will truly transform our society.
Absolutely. You wanted to add to that, yeah.
Honestly, for me, for Funke's declaration, I think that it's important people understand the context in which you go into politics. Galvanizing people for a movie, for fun, is different from galvanizing people for an ideology. It's different from galvanizing people for a movement, for a necessary and inevitable change. We need that. And even if you have 100 million followers, it does not translate into an ideology. It does not translate into what exactly are you going to do for the people that need you or believe in you. So up until we get to the point of seeing politics as an idea, you're selling an idea, not yourself,
not a product,
as a product or a celebrity or an influencer or whatever. you have to be able to tell, because these issues affect people on a daily basis. So using popularity has always been done. Even Cardi B was used in the last and the last cycle and the cycle before. People like Donald Trump became president simply because he was popular and people were interested. The popularity brought the interest, but then it didn't translate into an ideology. So the most important thing for celebrities and popular people looking to be the voice of the change that they seek, and they know their followers seek as well, you have to be able to translate that from a comedy, from an action movie, into a serious ideology, because governance is serious business.
You absolutely I literally was waiting for you to finish speaking, because that was where I was going to go. We've seen other actors come out into the political space, and it's great to, like you said, roll up your sleeves and jump in there. But important to remember that there's a responsibility beyond galvanizing people and getting into office. So even though Davido has gone behind his uncle was a senator, he's got the experience. But for these influencers that we have today, how are they developing themselves? What are we looking to see to give us some comfort that, you know, if Funke is going to make a great deputy governor, what are we
What has
looking
the
for?
previous deputy governor done that we would use as a yardstick to measure? Because at the end of the day, she's not the governor. And we kind of understand that she's being used to push and promote the actual governor. But then there's a disconnect somewhere for me.
Can I jump in?
I'm sorry.
I don't think it's as complex as we're making it. And you made a fantastic point about Donald Trump. Donald Trump didn't have an ideology. I am personally convinced that he was tasked.
He had an ideology.
He still
build
does.
fences. Build fences.
No, that's just okay. Fine.
He had an agenda.
He had an agenda,
Yes.
but not an ideology like
Yeah.
Ugonna and Uti are referring to, that deep political. And I don't think in today's world, this is just my
We
opinion.
don't think deep.
So
We're not that deep.
I'm not
No,
even
no.
going as far as an ideology. I'm just even saying that if someone's going to come out and say, I'm running for this office, what do we want to see?
Well, but that's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm making. I agree with you. That is what we should hold people accountable to. No argument. But the point is, I think people are a lot more simple than that. It's just my opinion. I think people happen to just react to what they see. It's actually a term that has been studied over the last 12, 14 years. And it's called the Obama effect, because he's the one that actually started this wave of hysteria of voting for this superstar candidate. And a lot of people could not tell you what Barack Obama stood for in terms of a political ideology, his platform, or anything else. But people were just intoxicated by the idea of this individual that was very charismatic, that was very charming and very forthcoming, and spoke with the most utterances of speech that nobody could connect to. So the point I'm trying to make is that I think that now becomes the standard with which politics is going to now happen in the future. Now, however, when you now begin to unpeel the layers, like you have said, both of you, and I agree with you, we should now be able to hold candidates to, okay, fantastic, you're great, you have a wonderful social media platform, you have all these people that are excited about you, you're possibly going to win. But what are you actually going to do? What do you actually stand for? Do we believe in you? So I think it's two layers. One is the political game. How are they going to get into office? And trust me, they're all going to use that platform. They're all going to use that methodology because it works. So I think the second component, when the real thing now becomes what it is now beginning to look underneath all of that and ask those very hard questions that the two of you are posing, which is what are you going to do and what do you stand for?
But you're trying to say that what you're going to do and what you stand for comes after
Yes,
you're in
I'm
office.
sorry.
Yes,
I believe that
absolutely.
100%.
Yes, because I believe
sorry.
that, first of all, the popularity is for you to get in there.
I'm sorry. And
Honestly,
that's
those
where, it is.
questions will be asked after the winnings.
No, but
that's how I feel.
If people are not, that format was what got the APC into office.
Yes.
So, but
And that got us where we are.
Yes.
Now, if you do not reverse that and ask what you would
The
do
genie is out of the bottle.
No,
That's
you
the
go
problem.
in.
So do you?
I don't understand.
I
You're
agree
expecting
with
a
you, but the point
repetition
is
of the same cycle.
The genie is out of the bottle. Because if you think about it, Donald Trump used Obama's methodology in reverse.
Yes.
That's the point I'm trying to make. So my point, you cannot argue against what works.
No, but it didn't happen the second time.
Ugonna.
Yeah, because he wasn't.
Exactly.
So then they will not be. They might not be a second time for them. But
So now
Go
we
ahead.
should not allow anyone come with that va-va-voom situation.
Thank you.
You have
Okay.
to tell us what you're going to do
No,
before
but
you
hold
get in
on.
there.
Did you listen to the interview of Senator Adeleke after he won
I
the
did.
election?
Yeah.
Please, what did he say that he was going to do? What should your people expect? What did he say?
I don't remember what he said, but
He was just saying that, what do you want to tell your people? I love you, I love you. And he said, he kept on and on about they should just expect, what's it called? Something about everybody being happy or something
Right.
like that.
So nothing,
there was nothing.
right.
They make Oshun great again.
But that
Did he say
doesn't
that?
make it.
Yes.
Wow.
But that doesn't make it.
But
right.
should we promote that?
Should
Is
we,
that
exactly,
what
because
caused it?
so that's what I'm trying to say, that you can't keep doing
I'm
the
trying
same
to
thing
understand.
over and over again
And expect a different result. And
So
complain.
you
We
have
haven't even started. That's
no,
the thing.
I agree.
Yeah.
So let's just
You're both
say
right.
What do you mean
that-
we haven't started?
No, we haven't started. Trust me, we haven't.
You mean the election cycle?
No. We haven't started this. You haven't gone through several political cycles where this thing works. We're just beginning. Both of you are correct.
That is the ideal.
No, that's what I'm saying. So I don't want it to be.
So
a
but we're going to get people in office.
Yeah.
If you tell me that, okay, it's fine, just get into office, then we'll start. We will wait for a cabinet and ministers for months and months. You have
For
to
8
have
months.
No,
some
but-
sort of plan. So I don't, whether you win,
So
getting
can I-
in.
I
is
honestly
important.
think
Can I just land
this
this-
time around, should the Adeleke administration not perform, it is squarely on Davido's shoulders. Full block, brick, cement, everything. Because his Twitter fans, his social media fans would be on his page every day saying one thing or the other about what's going on in Austria. So whether we like it or not, he has that accountability too, even if not directly to the government, to
everyone.
his
To his
uncle. Like,
fans, yeah.
this is what I'm hearing, what's going on.
Right.
So he's
No, but you see,
in the middle of
but I
it.
think the point being is that both have to work hand in hand. So you can't say, oh, we should only focus on the ideology or whether you have a solid grounding, because you do have some fantastic people with solid grounding, but they don't have the political machinery to win elections. You cannot effect change if you're not in office. So the question is, how do I get in office? You have to go with the formula that works. So once you have the formula that works, the next layer, like I said, is do you have a strong political ideology that will now carry you to be able to now do the things you say you want to do? So for me, the bottom line is, you, as a political
So-
candidate, you have to do both.
At this point, right, I believe that a lot of the politicians are just want a foot
In the door.
in the door. Because if you look at even the existing political structures, there was a meeting today I saw on, I think it was Sheyi Tinubu's page. You could see this man, Zakoji, some of the Nollywood actors.
Okay.
And why are they bringing all of those people? Because they understand that these people are important in them getting that seat, right? So I think the structure in Nigeria now, we can't, Professor Yemi Osinbajo had a fantastic,
He did.
his what's it called? His speech when he was campaigning for whatever
It was
the
beautiful.
most brilliant I've seen in a very long time.
It's the best.
But hey, where is he today? So I'm just
well,
saying,
we don't
wait.
disagree.
So I'm just saying that as it stands now, maybe what we should be saying, like what Ugonna has just rightly said, since we know that it is your influence that puts this person in there,
The
now
next
you
level.
we go hold. Do you understand? We will
Agreed.
then start to attack you to ensure that the
I
person
actually
is
like
doing
that.
the job.
That's a fantastic point.
That's what I think.
I agree with
but
that.
to say that we are waiting to hear their ideologies and all of that, we might never hear it, because everyone is just all about the numbers and how they can just get into the power, seat of power.
We know the African context for leadership or governance is chop by chop. Let me go and chop, then come out, and you go and chop and come out, and all of that. So at the end of the day, there is no accountability to anybody. You go and do your HS and you walk away and walk to the States or walk
You
to
have to
wherever you feel
expect
like.
different.
So you putting Zach Oji and all these people, you have to tell them, go and tell your people X, Y, Z. Why? Why should I vote for you? If I don't listen to you and I listen to Zach, yes, he has to tell me something. So it's not good enough just going and saying, oh, campaign for umbrella or campaign for broom or campaign for mama, papa, and pikin or whatever. You know, you have to, those people you're sending out, those agents you're sending out, what is their message. If you are not the ideology yourself, you have to say something. They still have to sell you one way or another, because most of the candidates on ground right now, they are, it's a tough, this election cycle is a tough one. I'm sorry.
It's not a precedent for me that you want to set. So we found a winning formula to get the numbers, to get people in office. Then we say, when you get there, figure it out. Or then tell us what you're going to do. So I want to see capable people find and use this tactic that we now know.
Of course.
That's what we're looking for.
Agreed.
And that should be the standard.
Agreed.
So when we're looking at people, I still want to, what were we saying the other day? Don't vote the party, vote the man, vote the person. I still want to see credible people that I can trust, that I know that when they get in the plethora of problems that we have, because again, it's not going to be an 8-year battle, right? But at least somebody who's inching us closer, who's thinking about the people, who's giving us something close to the change we hope for, as opposed to, we'll get all the celebrities, we'll get you in power, and then we're back
All
to
right,
the same
so a
thing.
question for Mr. Nwaji Jibunoh. Does media make or mar political movements / ideologies? Nazi Germany as his example or case with, or the case with Sri Lanka. Organic revolution versus social media influence.
So does it make or mar?
Yeah.
100%. It does, because it's politics is unfortunately a game of optics, and it's a game of optics because leadership is 99% perception, and that is what people respond to. People respond to your appearance of leadership even more than your results, and that is how unfortunate the mind works, because human beings are emotional. We react to things that we feel in a very intrinsic and a very irrational manner. So if you are able to use the media to speak to people in a positive manner that can actually shape the way that they think, to that question that's being asked, yes, it does.
Oprah. Somebody gave me the story of Oprah and said how all about her life, her goal was to put a black man as a president.
Yeah, she's been doing this since the 80s.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you see the journey, it was a long-term game, and she kept on doing it.
Yeah, this going back to Uti's
Yes,
point,
which
yeah.
is what Uti was saying. She kept on doing it, programming the minds and reshaping and directing the minds of Americans onto the point where they got comfortable to allow a Barack Obama become president.
Yeah.
So the day he was announced as
She was
president, that day was the day her journey in the media
The chapter.
and influence, that chapter closed. So I strongly believe that there's power, and I like the idea. But I'm saying with Nigeria, we are in an emergency situation.
Thank you.
Do you understand? Because while we're even discussing all of this, there is a fantastic candidate, no doubt about it. He's the ideal that has a ticket. He was, if maybe Oshibajo was part of it, maybe would have been like swayed, whatever. But we have an ideal picture of what we think a president should look like in the man, maybe Peter Obi, which is what generally the young people are after. You know, are we going to see more influencers back him up? Because a lot of bloggers are already doing that, posting his videos, doing all of those things, because these things are subconscious programming that has to happen, right? Should we expect more people like that, or we say, okay, no, let's not do it? Because really,
If you're not selling Peter Obi, who are you selling?
That's a dangerous
If
question.
you're not
Great
selling
question.
Peter Obi,
Yeah.
who are you selling?
It's a dangerous
Because you're
question.
caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. So your way out, ticket out,
It's a-
Japa out
It's a back end. So, but let me respond to that.
is, I'm sorry,
Sorry,
just
go on,
one
sorry,
second,
go on,
is a Peter Obi. Now, we're not, people are not rushing to him or galvanizing behind him simply because he's this or that. No.
it's the ideology that he represents.
It's simply, first of all, his humility. Everybody has said to me, Peter Obi is a one-man soldier. How is he going to be able to, I'm like, when we get there, we'll cross. Right now, he's a one-man army on all sides.
Right.
So this one man seems, out of all the options available, to be the most decent, the most honest, the most humble. You know, there's all these other people who have been in government for the longest time. We have a track record that, and in comparison to everyone else, I mean, someone said to me, everyone is bad. There's no one you can argue for.
That's the lie.
And all of that. But all I would say to you is,
Okay.
everyone is bad, but there's always someone that is not as bad as the rest.
Okay, quickly, in a second or two.
Yeah, no, I just want to say that I don't even think it's about this election cycle. I think it's about setting the precedence of putting quality candidates forward, and quality candidates that the youth and the general population will get behind, and influencers will do things. Because even if he has all the things that tick the box and everything else, he still needs the political machinery, and he still needs the money to be able to win elections in Nigeria.
Okay, quickly. Thank you. It's been an interesting conversation. Well done. Interesting and articulate guests. Someone says, hi, the economic climate and the APC negative perspective of APC also played a galvanizing role in ensuring Adeleke's victory. Says your guests look stunning, by the way. Good evening, my both of you actually. Good evening, my dear beautiful sisters of What Are You Saying? Where is the influence of media on political relevance concerning case of Funke Adele? I strongly believe that she may stand a chance of achieving her political dreams and ambitions, since she has a lot of followers on Instagram and social media as a whole. She also is very popular in Nollywood and entertainment as a whole, but the crux of the matter is that she has to let them know that she can deliver. That is a beautiful thing, or that is the beauty of the thing and nothing more. Thank you, Daniel Ilo, our always regular fan. Absolutely. Thank you so much. We ran out of time shouting in my ear, but thank you so much. We should bring you guys back. I really enjoyed this conversation. It was refreshing. Thank you, Ugonna. Thank you.
Thank
you. Jibunoh. Your name skipped my brain. Now, before we go, ensure you follow us on Instagram at PlusTvAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, or more importantly, follow all our engagements on social media. Like, share, and invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. Now, if you missed today's quote, here it is again. Social media is one of the most potent tools of change in the hands of citizens. May we use it responsibly to shape the world we live in. You know, Uti is saying, use it responsibly. It's very important that we are not supporting the wrong candidate. We'll see you guys at 8 p.m. tomorrow as we bring another great conversation to your screen.